So when you're interviewing for your job, one of the things you want to do before you walk into the interview, before you show up on the job site, is you want to do your research, because statistics say and common sense says if you prepare for an interview, you're going to do a lot better than if you try to wing it. And I've seen people do both, and just trust me, if you're prepared and you're ready and you've done your research, you're going to do much better on your interview than you would if you hadn't. So one of the things we want to talk about in research is you want to research the company and the company type. So the company type could be a publicly traded company, kind of like Amazon. You know, they're a big company. They're in the news. Jeff Bezos out there flying into space or something. So you can, you'll know enough about the company because everybody knows about those firms. So you want to have an understanding generally or globally about the company. If they're a huge company like Amazon, well, you'll still want to look and see how their stock price is doing or something like that. If it's a smaller company, say if it's a private equity firm, it might be, how far are they in the process? If they just bought out the firm, the company that you're interviewing with, 6 months before, you could say, okay, they've got another 3 to 5 years. And typically private equity firms will buy up a small firm, invest money and have it grow real quickly. And over 3 to 5 years, then they're going to turn around and sell it. So you'll understand, I see where we are in the trajectory of the arc of a private equity firm. Or it could be a mom and pop company, and then you're going, okay, well, how do I find that? Well, just go to their website, because the website is their kind of the front door. It's the doormat. It's the sign. This is who we are and what we do. And so you want to kind of study the website. So no matter which company it is, you always want to study their website. The other thing you want to do is once you understand about the company, is who you're interviewing with. Don't walk into an interview and go, okay, I'm here and I'm here for an interview, and you go, well, who are you interviewing with? If you don't know, that's not good. So try and call up ahead of time and ask somebody in HR, who am I interviewing with? And you want to at least get 2 or 3 people, and hopefully one of those are going to be the decision maker, unless this is an entry level or their first pass and they're just bringing you in to see if you're good enough, if you can spell or whatever, have an interesting conversation. But you want to make sure that you know who you're interviewing with. And when you're doing that, if you find out who they are, look and see if they're listed on the company website. If not, go to LinkedIn, of course. And what you want to do is check LinkedIn, and you're looking specifically for anything that is of interest to them, that maybe their hobby, or they went traveling somewhere, or perhaps even what school they went to. And if they went to Georgia, you say, hey, it's a good day to be a dog. I mean, you guys are the national champs. And so you want to have a way to relate to the people that you're interviewing. The research could also happen when you come into the office, right? You walk into the office, you're sitting out in the foyer, and you just look down and see what magazines are on the coffee table, or maybe what awards that they've won that are sitting out. It could be posters on the wall of projects that they've done, and you go, oh, that's a cool photo. So you can kind of use those as icebreakers. Oh, I noticed you won an award, or hey, tell me about this photo. So it's kind of an icebreaker way to get the attention off of you and get it onto some other object, or actually on them, because people who are interviewing, they're people too, right? And so what's their favorite topic? Themselves. So you want to, if you can, always try to figure out who you're interviewing with so that you can ask them questions about themselves. If you go into their office, boom, there it is. Whatever's on the wall, that's a question. That's an interesting idea. Oh, I noticed that you went to, UGA and you got your bulldog there, or whatever. You want to be aware of that person and what matters to them, and ask them questions about them. So that's the research section, and I encourage everybody. Also, one other thing, make sure you ask great questions. Now, that's always important. We'll have a list of general questions that you can ask, but having the right question oftentimes is way more important than having the right answer. So you're going to be graded on the questions that you ask. And so, just even asking, saying, is this a private equity company? Well, hopefully you'll know, but if you don't, even asking the question, what's the threat? What's the opportunity? What's the strengths and weaknesses of a firm? When you ask those questions, they go, you know what, this person gets it. They're not just there doing a job being told what to do. They've really spent time and energy to figure out what our company does, and that's somebody I want to be interested in talking to. If you're working with a recruiter, ask them every question that you can with that recruiter. Tell me about the company. Tell me about the culture. What's the sizzle? Why would someone want to work there? Why would I want to work there? You want to ask the recruiter, who am I interviewing with? How many people are they going to have me on a schedule or not? You want to make sure that you ask as many questions from people that you can. Now, I know some people have even used, Facebook pages and look at Facebook pages of people. You want to be careful when you do that. If you do it, don't make it obvious to say, oh, I noticed you went with your family to, Oregon. He's like, how'd you know that? Well, I looked you up on Facebook. You don't want to quite go that far. But you do want to do your research and be ready to go. So that's the research section. And the reason why you do your research is it helps you to be prepared to be the best candidate that walks in the room that day, because you've got all the questions. You know who the company is. You understand what people you're going to be interviewing with, and you've got the right questions. So do your research before you show up, and even while you're in the interview. So that's it for the interview section. We're going to take the next step in how to ace the phone call. Let's get started.